Good morning and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. How do we forgive? Most of the time, the answer to that question is not easily. When someone hurts us and hurts us badly, most of us find it difficult to forgive. This week, I want us to explore some stories of forgiveness from the Bible. Perhaps as we see how these Bible characters found the strength and grace to forgive, we might, like them, find that same strength and grace to forgive when we have been hurt and wronged. Today, our story focuses on Esau and how he forgave his brother Jacob. The story is told over several chapters in Genesis, but it really begins when they were born. In fact, the two twins struggled with each other in the womb, and when they were born, Esau was the eldest, and Jacob came second, grabbing onto the heel of his brother. So the name they gave that one was Jacob, which means he supplants, and that very much described Jacob's character. The two brothers grew up very differently. Esau was a hairy man, a man of the outdoors, a hunter, a man's man, you might say. Jacob was more of a person who stayed around the tents, helping his mother. Then one day Esau was coming in from hunting and he was famished. Jacob was stirring a pot of stew over the fire and Esau asked for some. Jacob agreed to give him some if Esau relinquished his birthright. Esau said, "I'm about to die. What use is a birthright to me?" And so he sold his birthright. Let me explain what that means. In that day, the eldest son had a special position in the family. He was the leader of the family, and he also received a double portion of the inheritance. That's what Esau sold away for a bowl of stew. Jacob has supplanted him. Then later it came time for their father Isaac to give his blessing on one of his children. Now this wasn't a general or generic thing. They thought of it as a very real gift to give someone, and if you gave it away, it couldn't be gotten back, and you didn't have another one to give to someone else. Isaac wanted to give it to Esau, his favorite son. But Jacob was Rebekah's favorite, and she dressed Jacob up in Esau's clothes, put a hide with hair on it on his arms to fool Isaac, who had become blind. And so Jacob tricked Isaac and received the blessing that was supposed to be Esau's. Again, he supplanted Esau and took what was his. Well, as you might imagine, Esau was furious. And this part of the story ends as Jacob flees for his life. Then many years pass. Jacob gets married and eventually decides it's time to return home. But as you might imagine, he is frightened that his brother Esau still bears a grudge against him. In Genesis 33, we hear what happened. Now Jacob looked up and saw Esau coming, and 400 men with him. So he divided the children among Leah and Rachel and the two maids. He put the maids with their children in front, then Leah with her children, and Rachel and Joseph last of all. He himself went on ahead of them, bowing himself to the ground 7 times until he came near his brother. But Esau ran to meet him and embraced him, fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. What a beautiful scene as these two brothers reunite. And what grace and strength Esau showed in welcoming this conniving brother back. Esau knew that over the intervening years, God had blessed him too. And he didn't let things like possessions and mistreatment in the past stand in the way of forgiveness and a restored, reconciled relationship. That's what forgiveness is, you know. It openly admits the hurt that has been caused, but doesn't allow the hurt to stand in the way of the relationship between two people. Esau gave that gift to Jacob. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.